Welcome, gents. Your energy introduces you before you speak, and sometimes it speaks louder than words ever could. There's something about Sigma males that you just cannot ignore. It is not the kind of energy that seeks attention or tries to dominate a room. It is the kind that quietly settles in and somehow still manages to shift the entire atmosphere. This is not arrogance or forced mystery. It is something deeper, more grounded, and spiritually loud. Sigma males are wired differently. They are not trying to fit in or stand out. They are simply being themselves, fully and unapologetically. And that alone makes people notice. In a world where most are chasing validation or constantly adjusting their masks to be liked, Sigma males choose to move in silence, trusting their path and living with intention. That kind of self-trust carries weight. That kind of presence cannot be faked. This spiritual loudness does not come from ego. It comes from experience. It comes from pain that was turned into wisdom, from solitude that was used for self-reflection, and from battles fought in silence. These men are not disconnected from the world. They are just deeply connected to themselves. And that inner connection naturally affects everything around them. So if you are a Sigma male, or you feel like you walk through life a little differently, this is for you. There is strength in your silence, purpose in your solitude, and power in your presence. You are not lost, you are just not loud. And that is your advantage. Let's get into it, gents. Number 1, he's hardwired to detect bullshit, and it shows. You can't fake it around a Sigma male, and that's not an exaggeration. There's something about him that makes people uncomfortable if they're not being real. It is not that he's trying to catch anyone slipping, but he's just wired to see through people. He can pick up on the smallest things, a change in tone, a shift in body language, a word that doesn't match the energy. And once he senses that something is off, it's over. He may not say a thing, but you'll feel the shift in his presence. He simply stops engaging on a deeper level. You'll know he saw through it, and that alone is enough to shake even the most convincing pretenders. He doesn't look for lies, but the truth tends to reveal itself around him. That's because Sigma males move with intention. They value truth, not performance. They're not out here trying to impress or play along with games. And that calm, centered presence makes those who rely on manipulation feel exposed. They're used to people who fall for charm or distractions, but Sigma males pay attention to things most people overlook. That's why his energy feels so heavy. It doesn't dance around surface-level things. It goes straight to the core. You ever wonder why people either deeply respect a Sigma male or feel uneasy around him? It's because he has a way of pulling back the curtain without lifting a finger. He does not argue, he does not accuse, he just sees, and when someone knows they've been seen for who they really are, there's no hiding after that. That spiritual volume, that's the kind of energy that doesn't need to be loud to be heard. When a Sigma male walks into a room, the fake get quiet. The manipulative grow tense and the real ones nod with respect. Because they know he sees everything, even the things you didn't say. Number 2, he's not light or dark. He's the full spectrum. A Sigma male is not easy to define, and that's exactly why he leaves such a lasting impression. He is not all light and he is not all shadow. He carries the full spectrum within him. One moment, you might feel a calm presence that puts you at ease. The next, you sense something deeper, something heavy, something untamed. That contrast is what makes his energy so intense. He is not pretending to be positive all the time, and he is not drowning in darkness either. He owns every part of himself, even the parts most people try to hide. He has felt rage and didn't run from it. He has sat with sorrow until it taught him something. He has found peace, not because life gave it to him, but because he created it in the middle of chaos. He is hungry, but not desperate. He is truthful, even when it is uncomfortable. And he does not break himself into pieces to fit into anyone's idea of what a man should be. That kind of wholeness is rare. And when people feel it, they don't always know how to respond. It challenges them. It shakes up their assumptions. It reminds them that they are only showing parts of themselves, while this man has made peace with all of his. You can't put him in a box. He's not just kind, he is also fierce. He is not just quiet, he is also intense. He is not just smart, he is deeply intuitive, and that kind of layered presence hits differently. It moves people, it lingers. He doesn't need to simplify who he is to be accepted. And that is what makes his energy feel so powerful. You don't just meet him, you experience him. You don't just notice him, you feel him, because he is not here to be one thing. He is here to be real, all of it. Number 3, he's spiritually self-employed. A Sigma male doesn't follow the crowd, not even when it comes to his spiritual path. He's not looking for a guru to save him or a trendy philosophy to make him look deep. He doesn't post about crystals one week and quote fake wisdom the next. His growth is not curated for attention, it's raw, quiet, and personal. He has built it with sleepless nights, harsh truths, and moments of complete isolation. His path is not something he read in a book, it's something he survived. You will never catch him blindly following a belief system just because everyone else is doing it. He questions everything. He challenges ideas. He tests theories with real life before accepting them as truth. And if something doesn't sit right with his spirit, he lets it go, no matter how popular or accepted it is. That's what makes his spiritual energy feel different. It's not borrowed. It's not copied. It's something he carved out with his bare hands. He trusts his instincts over trends. His silence holds more wisdom than most people's loud performances, and he knows that real growth is not always pretty. It's painful, confusing, and often lonely. But that's where his power comes from. He doesn't need a spiritual label or a tribe to validate him. He knows who he is because he has faced the parts of himself that most people avoid. So when you feel his energy, you feel something real, not filtered, not sugar-coated, not manufactured for approval. It is ancient, it is personal, it is earned. And that kind of spiritual self-employment is rare because it means he belongs to no one but himself. Number 4, his energy doesn't apologize for being heavy. A Sigma male's energy is not light and breezy. It is heavy, focused, and intense. And he makes no apology for it. He is not here to make people feel comfortable. He is here to live in truth, even if that truth makes others squirm. Some people will feel overwhelmed by him, not because he is doing too much, but because they are used to shallow conversations, empty connections, and people who dilute themselves just to fit in. A Sigma male refuses to do that. He is not the kind of person who dims his light or softens his presence to keep the peace. He has spent too much time fighting for his authenticity to water it down for anyone. That intensity people feel. That is years of experience, reflection, and silence that taught him more than any classroom ever could. And no, he is not going to shrink himself so others can breathe easier. You will either match his frequency or you won't. And if you can't, that's fine with him. He doesn't chase people. He doesn't beg for understanding. He knows that real connection only happens when both people are fully present and fully honest. And most people simply are not ready for that. This is why his energy feels so different. It is not designed for everyone. It is built for depth, not comfort. He walks into a room and you either feel drawn in or quietly exposed. There's no in between. But that is what makes him powerful. He's not scared to be too much. He's not afraid to stand in his truth, even if it clears the room. And when you meet someone like that, someone who doesn't flinch, doesn't bend, and doesn't dilute, you remember them, because heavy energy that is grounded in truth leaves a mark. Not everyone can carry it, but those who can never forget it. Number 5, he doesn't chase vibes, he creates them. A Sigma male doesn't chase energy, he is the energy. He's not out here copying trends, mimicking personalities, or faking spiritual alignment just to feel accepted. While most people are scrolling for inspiration or trying to catch the next big vibe, he's quietly building his own. And when he walks into a room, you feel it immediately. The energy shifts. Conversations take a different tone. People sit up straighter. Some even get quiet, not because he demands attention, but because something about his presence breaks the rhythm of the room. He doesn't try to match the energy around him. If the room is loud, he stays calm. If it's shallow, he stays deep. He's not moved by the noise around him because his center is strong. He walks with a kind of unshakable presence that makes people feel like they've been dropped into something real for the first time all day. He's not there to entertain or impress. He is there as himself, fully present, fully grounded, fully aware. That's why he's not contagious. He's catalytic. He doesn't pull people in to join his energy. He triggers something in them that forces them to notice their own. Some will feel inspired around him, others will feel exposed. But nobody stays the same. You can't fake what he carries. It's not curated, it's not copied, it's not bought. It's built from silence, solitude, and brutally honest self-work. That's why his energy lingers. That's why it moves people. And that's why he doesn't need to chase any vibe. He creates the atmosphere wherever he goes. Number 6. He moves like he's guided by something you can't see. A Sigma male doesn't move like everyone else, and that's exactly why people can't quite figure him out. His choices don't always make sense on the surface. He might walk away from money. He might cut ties with someone who seems valuable. He might disappear when things start getting loud. And to most people that looks reckless or confusing. But what they don't see is what guides him. The quiet force within him that doesn't answer to fear, ego, or pressure. He is tuned into something deeper, something sacred. It's not about logic or social status. It's not about winning in the eyes of others. His moves come from intuition, that gut feeling, that silent pull that says this is the way, even when there's no map and no one else understands. That kind of decision-making confuses people who rely on external approval or predictable paths. But the Sigma male isn't here to be understood. He is here to be aligned. When he walks into a room, you feel it. There's a calm purpose to him, like he's listening to something no one else can hear. He's not reactive. He doesn't chase drama or trends, and he definitely doesn't act out of desperation. He waits, observes, feels, then moves, often in ways that shift everything around him. His stillness speaks. His silence speaks louder. And when he acts, it feels deliberate, even if no one gets it but him. That's what makes his energy feel untouchable. It's not chaotic, it's sacred. It's protected by the fact that it does not seek permission or validation. When someone is that deeply rooted in who they are, you don't just see them. You feel them in your chest. You can't copy it, and you can't fake it, because it comes from a place most people never even visit. Number 7. He doesn't just observe, he sees through. A Sigma male doesn't just look at people, he sees through them. He doesn't need a long conversation or a backstory to understand what someone is really about. One glance, one shift in tone, one hesitation, and he's already reading between the lines. Most people try to observe facial expressions or body language. Sigma males, they go deeper. They don't just read emotions, they dissect intentions. They feel energies that people are trying to hide. When you stand in front of a Sigma male, you can't hide behind your persona. You might be smiling, but if there's fear underneath it, he'll catch it. You might be talking confidently, but if your soul is shaky, he'll feel it. And he will never call it out directly. That's the part that's even more haunting. He simply knows. His silence becomes a mirror. And for those who are performative or fake, that mirror can be unbearable. It's not something he tries to do. It's not an act. It's just how he is wired. Years of solitude, inner work, and brutal self-honesty have sharpened his instincts. He's had to see through himself first. That's why he sees through others so easily. And once he does, there's no unseeing it. He won't always tell you what he knows, but he'll act accordingly. That unnerves people. They sense that he's watching, not in a judgmental way, but in a way that makes pretending impossible. Some find that kind of gaze magnetic, others find it terrifying. But either way, they feel it, because when a man looks at you and sees the part of you that even you are avoiding, that is a different kind of spiritual loudness. It's not noisy, it's not dramatic, it's penetrating. And once it hits, it stays with you. You won't forget it, because you weren't just looked at, you were seen. Number 8, his aura has no expiration date. A Sigma male doesn't need to say much or stay long for his presence to mark you. You can meet him once, just one brief encounter, and days later he's still on your mind, echoing in your thoughts, showing up in your dreams without warning. You won't even know why at first. You'll try to brush it off, but something about the way he carried himself, the way he looked at you, the calm weight of his energy, it sticks. And that's the thing. His aura has no expiration date. It's not because he tried to impress you. He didn't perform, he didn't flatter, he didn't sell you anything. He was just real. And that alone is rare enough to haunt people. Most of what we experience today is surface level. Charm without depth, attention without presence, words without meaning. So when you finally encounter someone who shows up fully as himself, with no filter and no agenda, it stirs something deep, even if you didn't talk much. Even if you don't cross paths again, the impact is already made. People aren't used to that kind of energy anymore. We're trained to crave noise, to chase highs, to mistake validation for connection. But a Sigma male doesn't offer any of that. He offers truth, and that truth lingers in the air long after he's gone. You may not remember what he was wearing, you may not recall every word he said, but you'll remember the feeling of being disarmed, of being truly seen, of being in the presence of someone who doesn't need attention to be unforgettable. That's why he stays in people's memory, not because he forced his way in, but because once his energy touches you, it's almost impossible to forget. He's the kind of man whose silence speaks volumes, whose absence feels louder than most people's presence. That's not mystery, that's authenticity, and people don't know how to unfeel that. Number 9, he treats his alone time like a spiritual retreat. When a Sigma male disappears, people often assume he's hiding or running from something. But the truth is, he's not escaping, he's refining. His alone time isn't about isolation, it's about alignment. While most people fear being alone because silence forces them to face themselves, the Sigma male embraces it. He treats solitude like a sacred ritual, a place where he cleans his mental clutter, checks his emotional pulse, and sharpens his spirit. He doesn't drown himself in noise or distraction. He doesn't seek company just to avoid discomfort. Instead, he steps away from the world on purpose. He disconnects so he can reconnect with himself. That's where he gathers clarity, that's where he questions everything, and that's where he strengthens his core, away from opinions, chaos, and outside expectations. You'll notice something every time he comes back. He returns quieter but heavier, not in a draining way, but in a grounded, unshakable way, like someone who just walked through fire, learned from it, and now carries the lesson in his eyes. His presence hits different because it's not rushed. It's not reactive, it's refined. Solitude doesn't weaken him, it sharpens him. That's why he's not easily influenced. That's why people can't manipulate him. He knows who he is when the world is silent. He's had the hard conversations with himself. He's faced the messy, uncomfortable truths most people avoid. That kind of self-awareness, you don't learn it in groups, you earn it in solitude. So when he vanishes for a while, don't mistake it for loneliness. It's a spiritual retreat, and when he comes back, he's not the same. He's clearer, sharper, louder without speaking. Because he doesn't just rest in silence, he transforms in it. And that's what makes his energy feel like a force that didn't come from the crowd. It came from within. Number 10, he's seen the underbelly of humanity and refused to rot there. A Sigma male's energy doesn't come from a perfect life or easy wins. It comes from surviving things that would have broken most people. He has seen the underbelly of humanity, the ugly truths, the betrayals, the loneliness, the dark nights where hope felt like a joke. But instead of sinking, he studied the darkness. He didn't pretend it wasn't there. He faced it, sat with it, even bled in it, but he didn't let it rot him. That choice alone is rare, and that choice changed everything. His strength is not performative. It is not loud in the traditional sense. It's the kind of energy that quietly silences a room because people can feel the weight of what he's been through without him ever saying a word. There's something in his posture, in his calm, in his eyes. Like a man who's been through hell, mapped it, and walked out carrying the blueprint for survival. He didn't let bitterness make a home in him. He didn't let his past turn him cruel. Instead, he used it. He built mental armor, emotional wisdom, and spiritual depth. That is why when you meet him, you feel that thunder. It's not chaos, it's not ego. It's power built from pain that was processed, not ignored. Many people go through dark chapters, but very few come back clearer, kinder, and more awake. He did. And because of that, his energy hits differently. You sense that he has earned his peace. It wasn't handed to him. He had to fight for it inside his own mind. He had to wrestle with demons most people avoid naming. So when he speaks, even in silence, you listen. Not out of fear, but because you know he's speaking from lived truth. That's what makes his presence feel like spiritual thunder. It's not about being loud. It's about being real in a world that tries so hard to be anything but. Number 11, he's not magnetic, he's gravitational. There's a big difference between being magnetic and being gravitational, and the Sigma male lives in that difference. Magnetism is surface level. It's charm, charisma, the kind of energy that draws you in because it looks good or feels exciting in the moment. But gravity doesn't ask for attention. It simply is. It pulls you in because it holds weight, it carries depth, it changes the space around it just by existing. And that is exactly what a Sigma male does. His presence isn't something you flirt with and forget. It's not temporary and it's never performative. When you encounter him, something shifts, your guard drops, your thoughts get louder. You find yourself reflecting without even knowing why. It's not about what he says or how he moves. It's the undeniable feeling that this man knows who he is and isn't looking for anyone's permission to be it. That's the kind of energy that anchors you. It makes you sit with your own truth. It challenges you to look deeper. And for some people, that's uncomfortable because most people are used to distractions, not mirrors. But the Sigma male doesn't distract, he reflects. And in that reflection, people either grow or walk away. His gravitational pull is not about seduction, it's about substance. It's not about making you feel good, it's about making you feel real, and that's rare. That's why people remember him long after he's gone. Not because he was charming, but because he was grounding, because he created stillness in a world that's constantly running. You don't orbit a Sigma male because he's trying to be a star. You orbit him because something in your spirit recognizes that he isn't playing the game, he's walking through it on his own terms. And that kind of gravity, you can't fake it, and you definitely can't ignore it. In final words, when you know who you are, you don't need to raise your voice. The world adjusts its volume to hear your silence. The truth is, Sigma males do not walk around trying to prove anything. Their power is not in how loud they speak, but in how deeply they live. If you are the kind of man who has been misunderstood, misread, or even avoided because your energy makes people uncomfortable, that is not a weakness. That is a sign you carry something real in a world that often runs on masks. You do not need to chase attention to be felt. You do not need approval to know your worth. Your silence can speak volumes because it comes from clarity, not confusion. You are not here to entertain. You are here to be aligned, grounded, and unshakably honest with yourself. That is what makes your energy so loud without needing noise. It carries weight. It reflects truth. It moves things even when you are still. People may not always understand it, but they will never forget it. You have seen the shadows and refused to become them. You have walked alone, not out of pride, but out of principle. And that makes you different. That makes you rare. So if you ever feel like you don't belong, remember, your path is not meant to look like everyone else's. Your quiet strength is not weakness. It is your wisdom in motion. Keep walking in it. Keep owning it. Because the world does not need more noise, it needs more presence, and that is exactly what you bring. Stay grounded, stay honest, and never shrink to fit a room that was never built for your depth. You are not here to be liked by everyone. You are here to be remembered by those who are awake enough to feel your presence. That is what makes you a Sigma male. That is what makes your energy spiritually loud. Thank you for watching, gents, and God bless you.